Hello. So today we are going to talk about German expressionistic film, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. So this first, let's talk about German expressionism. So after World War I, Germany was super depressed, both metaphorically and economically. Germany was totally screwed over by the Treaty of Versailles, and their money had become virtually useless, valueless during that period of time. So expressionism became an art form that became really popular during that period of time between World War I and World War II. So expressionism was an art form that was present in film, but primarily was expressed through artwork, through visual art, paintings, etc. And it really emphasized the artist's inner feelings rather than being realistic. In fact, Expressionism directly rejected realism in cinema and in all forms. Expressionism believed that the world is subjective, that we experience it emotionally, and not all people's realities are the same. And it included very dramatic and unrealistic interpretations or depictions of the human condition. In expressionism as a visual art form, it used a lot of simplified shapes. There's not a ton of detail. There's a lot of geometric shapes, a lot of dull colors, etc. And expressionism has had a huge impact on the horror genre, specifically Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. So Cabinet of Dr. Caligari was released in 1920. It was directed by Robert Weine, and this film shows the big distrust of authority that was happening in post-World War I Germany. So this shows authority as being brutal, irrational, insensitive, etc. There's not a contrast in this film between sanity and insanity, and this film kind of explores the perception of reality a lot. It kind of explores the question of like what is real. This film examines the duality of human nature and kind of looks at how human beings have two aspects or multiple aspects or sides to them, personalities, etc. The visual style is extremely graphic, stylized, a lot of big geometric shapes, a lot of extreme shadows and light. It was obviously heavily influenced by the visual art, the painting aspect of German expressionism. And this film actually kind of put German cinema, it didn't put it on the map because Nosferatu came out before it and was really big. No, wait, Nosferatu came out after. Yeah. So this is actually the first horror film, which is what Roger Ebert called it. He called it the first true horror film. So something interesting about Nosferatu and about silent films in general is that most of them at the time did not actually have scores that they came with or music at the time. It was very hard to sync audio up with the video. And so, you might have someone who is playing music live, but in many cases, there might not even be music while they're screening it. So the version that we're going to watch, the music is actually done recently by a fan of the film. And you can see many different versions with different scores that people who just like the film have written to go along with it. So there's no official music for this film. It's something I find really interesting. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and I can't wait to see what you think.